Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of CoinNewsExtra interview session. So today we'll be talking about blockchain in the music industry because of what blockchain can do and the impact of blockchain across so many sectors. So we've been able to look into the blockchain in the music sector. So we have a personality, someone that is into music, we have a songwriter, we have an artist. So he is Klyn Akwarandu. Klyn Akwarandu is an eminent African rap, sonic brand consultant, novelist, songwriter, screenwriter, musician, and he is also a blockchain enthusiast. Klyn, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. So today we'll be talking about blockchain in the music industry. So you are in the music industry and you know what is happening there and challenges that this sector is facing. And you will be able to talk about how blockchain can play a role in this sector. So before we go to that, can you just give us a brief about yourself?
Well, okay, so my name is Klyn Akwarandu. I'm the EMENATE Africa rep. So apart from music, I write professionally songs, screenplays for movies, short stories, novels. I have my own blog. Yeah, so music is like second nature to me, basically. And when I discovered Emanate a few years ago, it was just clear that um, this is the best. This is like a wave of fresh air for the music industry in general. Okay, and I decided to work with them. I got the appointment to work with Emanate a few years ago. I think that was 2 years ago to be precise. And ever since, it's been great onboarding artists on Emanate and helping musicians in the African community.
Interesting, and you have a very good career in this sector. So, moving straight to the question. So, what are some of the challenges facing the music industry, and how do you think blockchain can play a role in solving some of these challenges?
All right. So basically, as a musician, especially let's use Nigeria as a case study. Okay, you have a lot of independent artists. Now we call them indie artists. These are artists that produce their own songs or are not signed to any label, basically. And every musician at the end of the day wants to make money from their music. They want their music to help them in a certain way. And we all know that we have a lot of songs on our phones that we either downloaded off a site or we collected from a friend, or somehow the song got into our system or our phones. And these artists who have these songs are not getting any form of remuneration or royalties paid to them because they mostly put out their songs for free. And in their head, they believe that one day, somehow, somewhere, the green light in the sky will meet the red light in the sky, and somehow their song will be noticed. And they keep putting out these songs, hopefully they feel that somehow, somewhere, their music will get to a particular audience, and in the Nigerian parlance, they would say, and then they will blow. And we all know that it's a challenge that they face already. Now, where the blockchain comes in is this: with the blockchain, it's easier to track your music. Okay, every other day in the world, someone puts out a new song and tells you, my song is available on all social media platforms. It's on Apple Music, it's on Deezer, it's on SoundCloud, it's on AudioMark. And out of the 1,000 streams that they basically get nothing from it. So basically, the truth is this: except to belong to some of the major labels in the world today, your music, your song cannot make you any money. And it's a hard truth that nobody tells musicians in Nigeria or in Africa at large. So what the blockchain does for you is gives you an avenue or what Emanate basically does for you is gives you an avenue to have your song on on the blockchain, and then when your song is being played, you get paid per second. Basically, payments will churn out every 6 seconds. So it's a win-win situation for artists in the world today. It's the blockchain coming to tell artists you don't have to belong to a label to make money from your music. You don't have to be signed to any group or something to make money from your music. Produce your songs, and it's very easy to go on the site and just register. Produce your songs, upload them, share the link with your friends, have your friends sign up on Emanate the same way they will sign up on Apple Music, the same way they have an account on SoundCloud, the same way they have an account on AudioMac. So basically, it's the blockchain coming to mitigate and remove all that difficulty independent musicians have to have their music played and monetized. That's basically what it is.
Very interesting. I was about to ask you a smart contract. There is an aspect of blockchain called the smart contract, where what it helps people to monetize their content because, well, like you rightly mentioned, musicians are having challenges and getting reward for the content they produce, and that's a role it can play. So, can you just tell us briefly about Emanate and how it's helping to shaping some musicians' career? Does it run on the blockchain? How does it work?
All right. So Emanate is built on the EOS blockchain. All right. And yes, smart contract because you can have a situation where someone goes to the studio and produces a song, and the producer says, "Hey, I own 50% of this track, or I own 45% of this track," or maybe it was a collaboration between two artists, or there was a songwriter who wrote the song and gave it to them to produce. Now, where the blockchain makes it so much easier is this: on Emanate, let's say you were about five or four or three or two, or maybe it was a producer vocalist split or songwriter split. On Emanate, you have an opportunity to indicate how much percentage goes to each particular artist. All right. That way, whenever the song is being played on Emanate, whenever the song is being played on Emanate, the payment is split simultaneously, either two ways or three ways, based on the particular amount that was in the particular percentage rather that was indicated in the smart contract. And the beauty about the blockchain is everything is accessible and online. So you can't come 2 years later and say, I actually own 50% of that song. When in the smart contract you sign that everyone can see, it's just 10% that you agreed. And it's amazing because you could be in Africa and someone who is not an African in a different continent might want to do a collaboration with you. Maybe you're a producer and you have your beats on Emanate, and someone who is not in your country or who is not even in your city or in your state listens to the song and likes it enough and wants to do a collaboration with you. All they have to do is sign a smart contract. And it's that easy. The person does the song or sings on top of the song whenever the song is being played because of the smart contract that was initiated by the two of you and the percentage that was split between the two of you. You don't have to follow up your you don't necessarily have to follow up your payments. It's very easy. As payments are being made, it's being split both ways to the two of you. So the beauty about the blockchain is the fact that everything is accessible to everybody. It's accessible to everybody. You can't come and say, I actually own the song or I didn't own the song. The transaction records, the references on the blockchain, transaction IDs on the blockchain makes it easy to identify who owns what. And then the smart contract is, to the blockchain world, the smart contract is as authentic as your legal binding papers that you can take to the law court. So the and then with the EOS blockchain, it's accessible. So to get an Emanate account, but prior to this time, you can just have an EOS wallet. That way, when your payments are being made, it can easily withdraw. Now, you should understand that Emanate runs a dual token interface. Now, when I say dual token interface, there's the EMT, which is the actual token of Emanate. All right. And then there's what you call MNX. Now, MNX is what artists earn. So, whenever your song is being played, when your song is being monetized, what you earn is MNX, and MNX is not tradable. It's just for the artist. But it can easily be converted to EMT, which can be tradable and converted to your local fiat currencies. And currently, we are working on having the token tradable in some of our big African exchange platforms. That way, you don't need to stress. You make your money, you can easily convert it to your local currency, and voila, you're being paid for your music.
That's interesting. That's what blockchain can do, and I'm really impressed with what Eminent is really doing and really transforming people's talent and helping them get reward for the labor and the effort they put in their music career. So finally, Klyn, how do you see the future of the music industry with this application of blockchain and other emerging technology?
All right. So, well, I would easily say that the future is bright. Okay. There was a time in the world when trade by barter was everything. There was a time in the world where gold was everything. And then we are now in the time when paper money is king. But if you've paid attention to how money has evolved in recent time, in the late 3, 4, 5 decades, you would see that the blockchain is basically the future of money. All right. And almost every sector in the world today, almost every sector, you can Google it for yourself. Almost every sector in the world today is realizing the import of the blockchain technology. All right. And Emanate is, in my opinion, and you can do your due diligence and do your research, Emanate is basically currently the biggest and well-structured music blockchain firm. With the company was on the ground doing a lot of research and a lot of findings and a lot of work and dev work for over 3 years before we eventually became public. And in the last 1 year, a lot has happened in this space. A lot of people are now moving their music to Emanate, and it doesn't just stop on the blockchain. We have what you call an Emanate distro service, whereby when your song is on Emanate, if you have your pro account, your song is also sent to iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, and these other known streaming brands. So when your song is being streamed on all these platforms, it still comes back to Emanate and you still make money from it. So it's not like it's a closed box. At the end of the day, all these streaming platforms would understand the import of the blockchain, and Emanate is positioned properly to help to help with the transition. So my advice to musicians out there would be get on the bus early enough. You don't want to be told the story in a few years' time how you missed getting on Emanate when it was still fresh and ripe for you to get and make something out of your music.
Thank you very much, Klyn Akwarandu, for this wonderful time with you. And thank you for joining us on CoinNewsExtra interview.